This is a return to the matter of People versus Jacob Daniel Barnes. Mr. Barnes is in the conference room at the Sheriff's Department. His lawyer, Ross Truckee, is here with me. Mr. Truckee, what's the circumstance here?
There's a misdemeanor offer that Mr. Barnes would take advantage of.
All right, Mr. Barnes, let me get your case back up here. It is alleged in this matter that on or about December 3rd, that you assaulted Haley Jacobs, someone you had a dating relationship with, and Diana Jackson, a former resident or resident of your household. Those are both alleged to have been third offenses, which makes that a felony, punishable by up to 5 years imprisonment. And you're also charged as being a habitual offender, which would make the maximum 7.5 years. You're also charged with interfering with a crime report, which is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. That generally has to do with taking a telephone away from someone. Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Joshua Robert has agreed to dismiss all of those charges for a plea to one count of domestic violence, second offense. Which count would that be on?
I believe that's against Diana Jackson, count 2. And there's also a malicious destruction of property under 200.
Let me see, did I not go far enough?
No, it's not charged. It would just be part of the plea.
All right. Plea on count 2. Who is Diana Jacobs to you?
Diana Jackson, that's my ex-girlfriend. Well, now ex-girlfriend. That's her grandmother.
All right. All right, Mr. Barnes, you probably heard me do this before. Do you understand that by pleading to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury that will not be a trial? Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. So did you get into an argument with your girlfriend and her grandmother on Orange Street in Sturgis on December 3rd?
Yes.
Do you remember what the argument was about?
It all started, I had gotten off of work. I came home, drank a couple beers, was ready to go to bed, and it was basically me wanting to go to bed, and that was about it. And then it escalated from there.
All right. So did you knock over a cabinet and actually resulted in Haley's leg being broken?
No, Haley's leg was already been broken a month. She stepped in a hole that our dog had made, and she had broken her foot.
All right, so she had a broken foot. So did you, at some point in here, did you pick up a machete?
No, I didn't have a machete. That was all.
All right, well, what did you do to Diana Jackson?
When she picked up her phone, I got verbal. I did charge, but I never, you know what I'm saying? I never tried to take her phone, but she probably thought I was trying to, because of past experiences, come at her before I left the scene.
All right, did you try to grab a hold of the phone?
No, I didn't try to grab a hold of the phone.
While she was on the couch, she was trying to reach and grab the phone. Would she have reason to think you were going to try to grab her phone?
I mean, probably because of past experiences, yeah. She probably either thought I was going to grab her phone or her.
All right. Now we'll have to sort this out. Is that acceptable as a factual basis for the people?
Yeah, I believe the charging app said he charged at her.
All right. And she would have reason to believe from past experience. Is that acceptable to you?
Yeah, under the same theory.
All right. You have a terrible anger problems, Mr. Barnes. This is the third time you've been charged with a domestic assault. In 2020, you were charged with a felony malicious destruction of property over $12,000. I don't think that's been paid off yet. In 2022, you're charged with 2 counts of assault with a dangerous weapon and domestic violence. You were placed on probation, and Judge Pattison revoked the probation. You still got unpaid fines and costs in that case.
I was working on, once I get out this time, I'm working on getting a new job and trying to pay off my fines and restart my life straight without having a relationship. That seems to be my problem.
Well, that certainly is part of it. I think beer may be a part of it also. All right, I'm gonna need victim input on this, and I need restitution info. Police report. So as a result of this, you're no longer with Haley Jacobs?
No, no longer with her.
Okay, let's take a look at where we can put this. I could actually do it, Ross, on the 26th. Are you here that day?
I can be.
Well, it's the day after Christmas. You got this new daughter. Does that work for you?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, let's set it for 10 a.m. on Thursday, December 26th. That's the sentencing date, Mr. Barnes. You're going to remain in custody until then, unless you're able to post this $20,000 bond. So I try to do it before the end of the year, and we'll get some input from the victims. Were you working at the time of this incident?
Yeah, I was working at Subway, by Little Caesars in Sturgis.
All right. I'll get the police report, victim input, restitution info. We'll set it for Thursday, December 26th. I'll be here those 2 days. Judge Pattison will be gone, but I will see you at that time, Mr. Barnes. Thank you. You're good to go.
All right, thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Barnes.
Morning.
This is file number 242132FY, People versus Daniel Jacob Barnes, or excuse me, Jacob Daniel Barnes. That's you, sir?
Yes.
And we've met, but I need to identify you for the record. You're here with your lawyer, Mr. Ross Truckee. You were charged in a felony complaint filed by the prosecutor alleging that on or about December 3rd, you committed a domestic violence third offense, 2 counts, and those are felonies punishable by up to 5 years imprisonment. As a second habitual offender, making it potentially 7.5 years in prison is a maximum sentence. You're also charged with interfering with the crime report. The matter was set for a pre-exam conference with your lawyer, Mr. Truckee, and the matter was resolved. You pled guilty on December 17th to domestic violence second offense on Diana Jacobs. Prosecutor dismissed all other counts and was going to be requesting restitution for some broken glass. I asked for a police report and restitution information and set the matter for sentencing today. You've had several other fairly recent domestic violence cases that didn't go so well. This one alleged at some point there was a machete involved. They never actually found the machete. And you pled to a domestic violence on your girlfriend's mother. The victim impact statement I did get it. As I mentioned, the victim impact, victim advocate positions are both open presently in the prosecutor's office. This is from Haley Jacobs. She's not the actually named complainant. She is asking for rehab and counseling for his anger, drug and alcohol abuse. We had done a couple of probations in the past. Mr. Truckee, what would you like me to know?
Well, I do think that Ms. Jacobs is accurate in some of the statements she made in the victim impact, recognizing she's not the named complainant in the charge under which a conviction will enter. But Jacob definitely did spend significant time in and out of foster care and out of institutions. When I was upstairs years ago, he was a $1 million baby for Mr. Jim Jacobs. That was his pet name for kids that took a lot of resources and had, kind of the highest level of needs. And Jacob went through a lot then. I don't know that he has the foundation on which to function in relationships. And I do think that there's something that can be learned, some amount of rehabilitation that can be offered by this court, recognizing that this is a serious case, these are serious allegations. There's going to be a jail component, we understand that, but I'd ask the court to consider, that at least one of the victims' positions here and weigh that as you deem appropriate. And also take note that this Machete allegation, as you stated, it was never found. My client still vehemently denies having a machete while admitting to some of the conduct here with the property destruction and things. So based on that, I'd ask the court to minimize the jail sentence and consider options for rehabilitation or educational opportunities for a man of this age.
Mr. Barnes, is there anything you'd like to tell me?
I mean, I know I've struggled for a long time. Definitely need help with my anger. That's about it.
All right. I tried probation a couple of times. Back in 2020, Judge Pattison tried one and it failed and it was revoked. I tried one in 2022, which was one of the underlying previous assault cases. Assault with a dangerous weapon and domestic violence. I tried that was again Judge Pattison, and he revoked your probation last September and ordered 60 days jail. Then there's fines and costs unpaid in each of those old cases. I don't have any prosecutor input, and I don't have any information about the restitution. I certainly see why they agreed to do a misdemeanor on here, but I'm really afraid to put you on probation again and just set you up for failure. You were working at Subway. If I let you out of jail today, where would you go?
There's a couple people that I've worked with that are willing to let me crash on their couch until I can get a little bit more money. I have a check waiting for me right now until I can get a motel room and start from there. And I plan on going to Pivotal, CMH or whatever, to go for anger management.
All right. Well, you certainly could benefit. I tried anger management once and it didn't, or Judge Pattison didn't. It was revoked. You're not eligible for a deferral. You really don't have a lot of resources. You're just kind of barely getting by. And you were living with your girlfriend and her mother, and now you're not able to live there. Although I guess theoretically it could take you back. Haley's not asking for jail time. I didn't get any input from her mother, Miss Jackson. As I said, I don't want to put you on probation that you're going to fail. You got, I believe, 23 days jail credit. Promoter 60 days credit, 23 days, which is 37 days to do. If they make you a trustee, you'll get some additional good time. 3 days. Fine is $0. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee of $50 state minimum fee, $150 attorney fee, just $225. You've got unpaid fines and costs in several previous cases. Your last 2 assaultive probations failed. I don't have any information regarding restitution and a reserve on it. I get information, we could have further hearing. 225 or 3 additional days in jail. It'll give you time to get connected with the pivotal at the jail. It'll give you time to have some housing arrangements when you get out, rather than me just dump you out on the stoop today. Mr. Barnes, I wish I had a better answer. As we're older than you are, in fact, I'm older than about everybody around here. But I've watched you and people like you that we see as 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds. We see them headed to the waterfall and they're about to go over the edge. We try to do some things to keep them from going over. And it's completely going over the waterfall is ending up at prison in the Michigan Department of Corrections, and nobody wants that for you. Including good old Jim Jacobs, who I ran into at breakfast a couple weeks ago. So no probation, reserve on restitution, 60 days, credit 23, minus good time. You're good to go, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Take care.